Hello everyone, welcome. Hi, I am good. How about you? Welcome back. Avon. So good to have you here. Thank you so much for joining. Good morning. Hi, Guten. Welcome. How are you? It is a beautiful name. Toby. Hi, Toby. Welcome, dear. Guten Morgen means good morning. Hi, Toby. Welcome. How are you? Oh, let me fix the light. Comments with beautiful names. Welcome back, Ronaldo, for you. How are you? Hi, Manar. Welcome. Hello, dear Diva. Welcome. How are you? Ella. Hi, Ella. It is a beautiful name. Emily. Hi, Emily. Welcome. How are you? Princess. Hi. It is a good name. Alaikum salam. I am good. How about you, dear Aisha? Welcome back. Have a good day, everyone. Selena. Hi, Selena. Here is yours. Thank you so much for joining. Hi, dear Mireille. It is a good name. Hello, dear Emina. Here is yours. Guys, don't forget to double tap on your screens. To like this live, Nihal. Hi. Welcome. Elena. Hi, Elena. How are you? Saranya. Hi, Saranya. Welcome. Here is a beautiful name. Manu. Hey, dear Manu. How are you? Nitish. It's pretty good, dear. Happy Sunday. How about yours? Hi, Nitish. Here is yours. Karunika. Hi. Here is a good name. How are you? Welcome. Good. Good to have you here, dear. Thank you so much. Hi, Carly. Here is yours. Moise. Hi, dear Moise. Here is a good name. Ali Raza. Hi, Ali Raza. Welcome. Here is yours. Zeke. Hi. Here is a beautiful name. Alina. Hi, Alina. Here is yours. Omphil. Hi, dear Omphil. Here is a good name. How are you? Hello, dear Sarah. Here is yours. Hi, Ken. Welcome back. How are you doing today? Here is yours. Veer. Hi, dear Veer. Welcome. Mahi. Hello, dear Mahi. It is a good name. Hi, Arupa. Hello, dear Arupa. It is a beautiful name. Alicia. Hi. Welcome. How are you? Hello, dear Mia. Here is yours. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. You're most welcome, dear. Thank you. Harris. Hi, dear Harris. Here is yours. Hello, dear Sashka. Welcome back. How are you? Here is a good name. Hi, Kristen. Hello, dear Kristen. How are you? Here is your beautiful name. Manya. Hi, Manya. Welcome, dear. Here is yours. Riti. Hello, dear Riti. Here is a good name. How are you? Shreya. Hi, dear Shreya. Here is yours. Welcome. Isa. Hello, dear Isa. Here is a good name. Guys, don't forget to press the subscribe button. Thank you so much. You are the cutest, dear Emma. Hi, dear Emma. Here is yours, Purvi. Hello, dear Purvi. How are you? Here is yours. Hello, dear. I'm from Russia, you know? Oh, okay. So good to have you here. How's your day going, dear? Hi, dear Kelly. Here is yours. Lily Wait. Hi. It is a good name. How are you? Hello, dear Rizzy. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Kehlani. Hi, dear Kehlani. It is a good name. Sarah. Hi, dear Sarah. Here is yours. Hi, dear Bosta. Here is your beautiful name. Welcome. Hello, dear Manu. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Nisha. Thank you so much for subscribing. Here is a good name. Hello, hi, welcome. Hello, dear Victoria. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, she's my name. What is a good name, dear? Ankush. Hi, dear Ankush. Here is yours. Hello, dear Gina. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Amya. Here is yours. Hello, dear Anna. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Graceland. How are you? Beautiful name is here. Hi, dear Ace. Here is yours. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing, guys. Kiana. Hi, dear Kiana. Here is a good name. Hello, dear Anjali. Here is yours. Thank you. Lots of love, dear. Hi, dear Sylvia. Here is yours. Hello, dear Noor. It is a good name. How are you? Hi, dear Abdullah. Here is yours. Have a good day. How are you? Hi, dear Hania. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hey, dear Macy. Here is yours. Hello. Thank you for subscribing, dear. Lots of love. Hi, dear Archie. Here is yours. Hello, dear Safina. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Zoya. Here is a good name. Hello, dear Sangeeta. Here is yours. Don't forget to press the subscribe button. Hi, dear Sammy. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear Alessandra. Here is yours. How are you, dear Alessandra? It is a good name. Hi. Hello, dear Guy. Here is yours. Hi, dear Lasade. It is a good name. Hello, dear Varisha. Here is yours. How are you? Welcome. Hi, dear Keisha. It is a good name. Welcome. Hello, dear Garen. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Rugesh. Rugesh. Here is yours. Let's see who's next. Elada. Hi, dear Elada. It is a good name. Hello, dear Mia. Here is yours. Hi, dear Hanya. It is a beautiful name. Let's see who is next. Krishna. Hi. Welcome. It is a beautiful name. Guys, don't forget to double tap on your screens, and there is a subscribe button waiting for your finger press. Kaylee. Hi. Welcome. How are you? Here is yours. Hello, dear Myra. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Divya. Here is yours. Welcome. Hi, dear Olerato. No, Olerato. Olerato. Okay. What a unique name you have. Here is yours. Hello, dear Nakusha. Here is yours. How are you? Welcome. Hi, dear Laman. It is a good name. How are you? Hello, dear Farwa. Here is yours. Hi, dear Tyler. It is a good name. Hello, Didi. Hi, welcome. Girja. It is a good name. How are you? Hi, dear Bombs. Here is yours. Hello, dear Asad. It is a beautiful name. Welcome. Hi, dear Usman. Here is yours. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hi, dear Isma. Here is your good name. How are you? Hello, dear Elisa. Here is yours. Jiva. Hi. Welcome. Here is yours. Hi, dear Samruti. Here is a good name. Welcome, dear. How are you? Hello, dear Tashmira. Oh, wow. It is a good name. How are you? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hi, dear Nessa. Here is yours. Hello, dear Better. It is a good name. Welcome. Hi, dear Eva. Here is yours. Hello, dear Angel. It is a good name. Welcome, dear. How are you? Hello, dear Hamad. Here is yours. Have a good day to all of you. Hi, dear Shifa. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Mira. Here is yours. Welcome. Hello, dear Aziza. Here is your good name. How are you? Hi, dear Tammy. Here is yours. Hello, dear Pista. It is a good name. How are you? Hi, dear. Hi, Swapnilji. Welcome back. How are you doing today? Happy Sunday. It is a good name. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining. Guys, don't forget to double tap on your screens and there is a subscribe button waiting for your finger press. Ayansh. Hi Ayansh. Welcome. How are you? It is a good name. Hadi. Hi Hadi. Welcome. Hello, hello. Alejandra. Okay, dear Alejandra, why not? How are you? It is a good name, dear. Thank you so much for joining. Rafe. Hi, Rafe. Welcome. Hello, dear Ishan. It is a beautiful name. Hi, dear Vivan. It is yours. How are you? Welcome. Lily. Hi, Lily. It is a good name. Hello, dear Epadi. Hi. Your beautiful name is here, dear. Thank you so much. Hey, dear Emma. It is yours. Hello, dear Eva. It is a good name. How are you, Luffy? Hi, dear Luffy. Welcome. Hi, dear Mooney. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Pratigya. Here is your good name. How are you doing today? Welcome. Hi, dear Oda. Here is yours. Hello, dear Sajida. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Welcome. Hi, dear Hafsa. Here is yours. Hello, dear Harshita. Here is a good name. Welcome, dear. Hi, dear Sumaira. Here is yours. Hello, dear Xenia. It is a beautiful name. Hi, dear Tibak. Oh, wow. Unique name is here. Tibak is here. Let's see who is next. Pihu. Hi, dear Pihu. It is a good name. Hi, dear. Okay, Kelly. Go for it, dear. She wants a screenshot, so give her 1 minute, guys. Hi. Hi, Humaira. Welcome. Pasha. Humaira and Pasha. Don't forget to double tap on your screens. Hi. Hello, Aisha. Welcome. Humaira, Pasha, Aisha. E-signatures. Yes, dear. Humaira. Hi, dear Humaira. Welcome. Pasha. Hi, dear Pasha. It is a good name. Aisha. Hi, Aisha. Welcome. How are you? Hello, my name is Jackson. Hi. Welcome. It is yours. Harun. Hi, Harun. It is a beautiful name. Hello, dear Munaza. Hi. It is yours. Welcome. Samya. Hi, Samya. It is a beautiful name. Sanji. Hi, Sanji. Welcome. How are you? Sanju. Sanji or Sanju? Here is yours. Hi, dear. Let me check the spelling of yours, dear. Oh, you are. Here is yours. What a unique name you have. Hello, dear. Seoul for you. Hello, dear. Galo. Yellow. Oh, here is yours. Vaishnavi. Hi Vaishnavi. Welcome. How are you? Hi dear Asya. Here is yours. Hello dear Noore. Here is a beautiful name. Hi dear Tanveer. Here is yours. Welcome. Let's see who is next. Hi dear Khalid. Here is a good name. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hi dear Maria. Okay. How a unique name you have, dear. Here is yours. Hi dear Antima. Here is a good name. Welcome. Kaden. Hi dear Kaden. Here is yours. Hi dear Marianne. Okay. Marianne. Here is yours. How are you? I am Irha. Hi Irha, welcome. Here is your good name. How are you? Hello dear James. Here is yours. Welcome. Yay! Lots of love dear. Hi dear Dawood. Here is a good name. Hi dear Shrishti. Shrishti. Here is yours. Guys, don't forget to double tap on your screens, and there is a subscribe button waiting for your finger press. Let's see who is next. Adia. Hi Adia. Welcome. How are you? Tejas. Hi dear Tejas. Welcome. Hi dear Deleza. Deleza. Here is yours. Hi dear Jazzle. Here is a good name. Hello dear Stevie. Here is yours. Hi dear Pihu. It is a beautiful name. How are you? Hi dear Sundas. Here is yours. Welcome. Hello dear Asya. Here is a beautiful name. Raju. Hi. You're most welcome dear Shrishti. Lots of love. Nafe. Hi Nafe. Welcome. How are you? Asan. Hi Asan. Welcome. Here is a good name. Let's see who is next. Shruti. Hi dear Shruti. It is a beautiful name. Welcome. Hello dear Dua. Here is yours. Hello dear Adrija. Here is a good name. How are you? Hi dear Tasawar. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Hi dear Cheyenne. It is a good name. Welcome. Hello, dear Darcy. Here is yours. You're most welcome, dear. So good to have you here. Thank you so much for joining. Hi, Jannat. Welcome. Hello, dear Sufyan. Here is yours. How are you? Let's try Sebastian. Hi, Sebastian. Welcome. Here is your good name. Let's see who is next. Michelle. Hi, dear Michelle. Here is yours. Welcome. Hello, dear Anda. Here is a beautiful name. Hi, dear Ines. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Tayyab. Here is yours. Welcome, Rabia. Hi, dear Rabia. It is a good name. How are you doing? Hello, dear Leon. Here is yours. Hi, dear Liza. Here is a good name. Welcome. Let's see who is next. Hadia. Hi, dear Hadia. Adia and Hadia. What are rhyming names? Welcome, dear. Here is yours. Sana. Hi, Sana. Here is a beautiful name. Tashrifa. Hi, dear Tashrifa. Tashrifa. Here is yours. Hi, dear Ghazi. Here is a good name. Hello, dear Maryam. Here is yours. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Right, dear Sophia. You're most welcome, dear Sana. Lots of love. Take care of yourself. Stay happy. Hi, Sophia. Welcome. Hello, dear Asla. Here is yours. Mubarak. Okay, why not? Mubarak. Beautiful name is here. Welcome. Kaylee, your name was done twice. How can I forget you, dear? Hello. Let's see who is next. Noore. Noore. Hi, dear Noore. It is yours. Hi, dear Akshada. Oh, wow. What a unique name you have. Akshada. It is a beautiful name. Hello. Hi. Welcome. Sagar. Anastasia. Hello, dear Sagar. Here is yours. Welcome. Anastasia. Hi, Anastasia. It is a good name. How are you? Welcome. Habiba. Hi, dear Habiba. It is a good name. Welcome, dear. Hello, dear Zayla. Here is yours. Hi, dear Noore. It is a good name. How are you? Hello, dear Pihu. Here is yours. Hi, dear Maria. Here is a good name. How are you? Hi, dear Alicia. Here is yours. Welcome. Have a good day. Hello, dear Maftuna. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear South. Oh, SOA or SAO? SOAD. Here is yours. Hello, dear Gulnar. Here is a beautiful name. Don't forget to double tap on your screen, guys. Farangis, hi. Happy birthday. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. You're most welcome, dear. Julia. Hi, dear Julia. Here is yours. Hi, dear Hadi. It is a good name. Hello, dear. Okay, you should. Here is yours. Yamilat. Hi, welcome. Yamilat. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Saga. It is a good name. Hello, dear. Nayeli. Nayeli. Here is yours. Hi, dear Maftuna. Here is a good name. How are you? Hello, dear Coco. Here is yours. Hello, dear. Okay, dear Kelly. Here is yours, and you want a screenshot of your name, so please take it now and do let me know if you done with this or not. Hi, welcome, guys. Don't forget to double tap on your screens. Hi, Patrick. Hello, Metrons. Welcome back. How are you doing today? Let's see who is next. Angel. Hi. Matrons, Angel, Gia. Okay. Matrons. Hi, Matrons. Patrick. Hi. How are you? Angel. Zoe. Hello, dear Zoe. You're most welcome. Sahala. Hello, Sahala. Welcome. Hi, dear Habiba. Here is yours. Welcome, dear. Saja. Hi. You're most welcome. Michelle. Hi, Michelle. Welcome. How are you? Han. Hi. Here is yours. Brayden. Hi, Brayden. How are you doing? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's see who's next. Sarah. Hi, dear Sarah. Welcome. Julia. Hi. Eliza. Hello, dear Eliza. Here is a good name. Latte. Hi. Welcome. Nilufer. Hi, Nilufer. Here is a good name. Laiba. Hi, Laiba. How are you? Gauri. Hi, dear Gauri. It is a good name. Vanessa. Hi, dear Vanessa. Here is yours. Let's see who's gonna be the 60 liker, guys. Hi, my girl. Here is yours. Welcome. Hi, dear Luki. Here is yours. Rumessa. Hi, Rumessa. Romessa. Okay. Romessa. Double SA. Hi. Here is yours. Hi, let's see who's next. Yeah, you have a unique name, dear Limsa. Here is yours. Thank you so much for joining. That was my friend's name. Oh, that's great. Susanda. Hi, dear Susanda. Welcome. Rosie. Hi, dear Rosie. Here is yours. Hi, dear. Electricity went off, and that's why the live got ended, guys. Let's see who is next, and I am back. Steven, hi. Welcome back, guys. Comments are beautiful names, and let's see who is next. Welcome back. Asma, hi Asma, welcome. How are you? It is a beautiful name. Thank you so much for joining, dear. How are you doing today? Let's see who is next. Have a good day. Arona. Hi Arona, welcome. Jayas. Hi Jayas. Welcome dear. How are you? Farida. Hi dear. How are you? It is a beautiful name. How are you? Hi dear Abdul Rahman. Here is your beautiful name. Oh, pretty hard to fit, but let's try again. Abdul Rahman. Okay, now it's perfect. Let's see who is next. Anne. Hi, dear Anne. Here is yours. Hello, dear Nacho. Here is a good name. Hello, Kishore. Welcome. How are you? Hello, dear Rabza. It is a good name. Welcome. Hi, dear Abdurzek. Here is yours. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Don't forget to double tap on your screens. I don't know. Vanshika is. Let me check. Okay, let's try Vanshika. Hi, Vanshika. How are you? Here is a beautiful name. And wants a screenshot. Okay. Here is yours, dear. Hi. Vashi, and it was done at 38. Vashvi. Hi, Vashvi. Welcome. Romesa. Hello. How are you? Munaza. Hi, Munaza. Welcome, dear. How are you? Arfa. Hello, dear Arfa. Here is a good name. Hajni. Hi. Welcome, Hajni. How are you? Eugen. Hi, Eugen. Here is a good name. Hello, dear Fadila. Here is yours. Hi, dear Bilal. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Eugen wants a screenshot too. Okay, dear Eugen. Here is yours. Hi, Fiza. Welcome. Guys, double tap on your screens, and there is a subscribe button waiting for your finger press. Fiza. Hi, Fiza. Welcome. She's taking screenshots, so just Radhika, nice to meet you, dear friend. Same here, dear. Radhika, welcome back. How are you doing today? Radhika, have a good day, dear. Here is yours. Rama, hi Rama. Welcome. Ramona, happy birthday. Here is your beautiful name. Elizabeth, hi Elizabeth. How are you? S.A. Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth, how are you? It is a good name. Thank you. You're most welcome, dear. Let's see. I am good too. Thank you for asking. Anabia. Hi, dear Anabia. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Asia. Here is a beautiful name. Zubair. Hi, Zubair. Welcome. How are you? Thank you so much for joining. Let's see who is next. Eugene, your name was done at 40 minutes, dear. You can watch my live later too if you want a screenshot. Janab, hi Janab, welcome. How are you? Hayden, hi Hayden, welcome. Hi Lagan, welcome back. How are you? Here is your beautiful name. Hi dear Pavitra. Here is yours. Nimal, hi Nimal, welcome. How are you? Hi dear Arbaz. Here is your beautiful name. I am good too. How about you? Thank you so much for joining. Riz, what is your name? Rismar? Risman. Okay. Minnie. Hi, Minnie. Welcome. How are you? Maddie. Hi, Maddie. Here is your beautiful name. Hello, dear Rifa. Here is yours. Prativa. Okay. Prativa. Here is yours. Hi, dear. Hi, Abdi. Welcome. Helen. Here is a good name. How was it? It's pretty good. How about yours? Mel. Hi, Mel. Welcome. Hi, dear. Mel or MRL? What is the name of yours, dear? Hayden is done before, but Hayden wants a screenshot. Hayden. Here is yours. Hi, dear Anita. Here is a good name. How are you? Welcome. Noor. Hi, Noor. Welcome, dear. Let's see who is next. नहीं नहीं बड़ी इतनी इजी नहीं मिलती भाई. दीक्षा. Hi दीक्षा. Welcome. Hi dear. अरे स्पैम क्यों करते हो भाई? Let's write Bethany for you. Ibrahim. Hi Ibrahim. Welcome. How are you? Oh sad for you. हाँ ना. बड़ी इतने नहीं मिलती इजी. आपको मिली थी क्या? हाँ अच्छा सच में. झूठ मत बोलो कोई नहीं मिली आपको भी. Minal. Hi Minal. Guys, double tap on your screens. Divakar. Hi Divakar. Welcome. How are you? Here is a good name. Shifa. Hi Shifa. How are you? Yay. Alicia. Hi. Lagan. ऐसे ही लिखते हैं लगन. Hi Huma. Welcome dear. How are you? Here is a good name. William. Hi William. Welcome. Pink. Hi, Ezra. Hi, dear Ezra. Here is yours. Hi, dear Abrish. Here is a beautiful name. Hello, dear Sam. Here is yours. You have such a unique name. Joe. Hi, Joe. How are you? कितनी मिली थी लगन भाई? Hi, dear Hari. Here is a good name. Welcome. Hi, dear Zainab. Here is. And yes, आपको ID नहीं मिली. हाँ नहीं मिली मुझे. Here is yours. Here is yours. Hey, dear Ella. Here is yours. Hi, dear Salman. Here is a beautiful name. How are you? Hello, dear Juliet. Here is yours. Hi, dear Sarah. Here is a good name. Hello, dear. Don't repeat names, dear. Noor. Noor, your name is Dana. Dilpari. Hi, Dilpari. Welcome. You can try with a new name, but don't repeat. Here is yours. Hi, dear Tawheed. Here is a beautiful name. How are you? Oh, hi, June. Welcome back. How are you? Here is yours. बड़े दिन बाद आए हो जून जी बार Michelle. Hi, dear Michelle. Here is yours. Hello, dear Bella. Here is a good name. Hey, dear Zahra. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. समोसा वाला जी बिना मन नहीं रखता. Ali. Hi. Here is yours. Hello, dear Mana. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Lerato. Here is a good name. Hello, dear Shakil. Here is yours. How are you? Hey, dear Darena. Here is a good name. Welcome. Hey, dear Have. Here is yours. Hi, dear. Hi, Darshu. Welcome back. कैसे हो? Here is yours. Let's write your name. Dear Darshil. It is a beautiful name. Hi, dear SM. Here is yours. Hi, dear Amaya. मैं भी ठीक हूँ. It is a beautiful name. आप बताओ. Hey, dear Mahnoor. Here is yours. Thank you so much for asking. It is a good name. Hi, dear Muridu. Here is yours. Hello, dear Avinash. It is a beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Isa. It is a beautiful name. Leo. Hi, dear Leo. Here is yours. Hey, dear Nakia or Nadia. Here is yours. Hello, dear Kaden. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Akil. Welcome, Arfa. Hi. Hi, dear Arfa. Here is yours. Hello, dear Akil. It is a beautiful name. Hello, dear Rashmi. Here is yours. Welcome. Hi, dear. अच्छा, Arfa में double A आता है. Okay. Here is yours. It's so pretty, sister. Oh, glad you liked it, dear. What's a good name? Rani. Hi, dear Rani. Welcome. Ishita. Hello, dear Ishita. Here is your beautiful name. Lavkush. Hi. Hi, dear Lavkush. Here is yours. Hi, dear Cadillac. Double L A C. Hi, Cadillac. Here is yours. Hello, dear Rachel. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Elaine. Here is yours. Hi, dear Arman. Here is your beautiful name. Hello, dear Mus. What is your name? Mustafa? Regina. Hi, Regina. Welcome. Here is yours. Muzalfa. Oh, Muzalfa with D or without D? Can you please confirm, dear? Muzalfa or okay with D? And here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear. Salam. Here is yours. Hey, dear Hania. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Roman. Double A N, double A N, double A N. Here is yours. Hello, dear Ahmed. Here is a good name. Hello, dear Josefa. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Rifat. Hi, dear Rifat. Here is yours. Hey, dear Ella. How are you? Hi, dear Usman. Here is yours. Hello, dear Aras. Here is a beautiful name. Hi, dear Luna. Here is yours. Hi, dear Lara. It is a good name. Welcome. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Kaden is done now. Greta. Hi, dear Greta. Here is yours. Hello, dear Virus. Here is a beautiful name. Hi, dear Eroj. Here is yours. Hello, dear Elay. Here is yours. Hi, dear Milo. Here is a good name. So, Kaden, dear, your name was done twice, and I gave you the time to screenshot it, but you didn't. Kisei. Hi, Kisei. Welcome. How are you? Simba. Hi. Welcome. Shazeb. Hi, Shazeb. How are you? Here is your beautiful name. Hello, dear Zainab. Oh, another Zainab. Welcome. How are you? Hi, dear Nihal. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Uswa. Here is yours. Okay, now we are Kise Kise. Same, same. What is the difference between Kise and Kise? Hi, dear Hari. Here is your same spelling, dear. How are you? Okay, guys, now I'm going to end the stream. Don't forget to double tap on your screens. And there is a subscribe button waiting for your finger press. Looking for the last name for the stream, which is gonna be Sharmila. Hi, welcome. How are you? Here is yours. But you wrote Kise, so I read Kise. Kisaya. Okay. Hi, dear delay. Double L Y. Here is you're most welcome, dear. Thank you so much. Looking for the last name for this stream. Siam. Hi, Siam. Welcome. Fatima. Hi, Fatima. Here is yours. Sania. Hi, Sania. Welcome. How are you? And hi, welcome. Token. Hi, Token. Welcome. Roman is done though. Celine. Hi, Celine. Here is yours. Hira. Hi, Hira. Welcome. Rain. Hi, Rain. Daslian. Hi, Daslian. Welcome. Hello, hi. Joaquin. How are you doing today? Here is your beautiful name. Welcome back. Hey, dear Hattis. Here is yours. Hi, dear Mona. It is a good name. Daria. Celine. Wastel. Elma. John and C. It is yours. Tiki. Hi, Tiki. Welcome. How are you? It is a good name. And let's see who's gonna be the last for this stream. Sania. Mishu. Bazi. Azra. Guys, don't forget to double tap on your screens. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Lata. Hi. Welcome. Bella. Hey, Bella. Hi, you're most welcome, dear. Thank you so much for subscribing and liking. Lots of love. Anisha. Hi. Sophia. Angel, Tawheed, Kunal, Arab, Eva, Raida, Fatima, Juliet. Okay, it is yours. Zen, Anandi. Guys, double tap on your screens. Hi, Anandi. Welcome. Amjad. Hi. Tasneem. Qasim. Raju. Anabia. Welcome. Arya. Shini. Han. And last name for this stream is Kaden. Thaliane. Hashir. Last name for this stream is Laiba. Okay, now I'm going to end the stream, guys. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for commenting your name here, and take care. Bye bye. Have a good day. Bye.